So let's look at some of the features of our character. This is one of our character named Susan. So let's check out some of the things that she's got. All right, so first of all, we'll start with our 360-degree rotation. All right, so you can see the character has 360 head rotation. Okay, it's got 360 body rotation. Okay, we can use these controls to bring the hands forward. All right, next let's look at some of the body controls. So here we have the control for the hands. So we can use this bone to bring the right hand forward, or to bring the lower, just the lower part of the right hand forward. Okay, you can bring the entire right hand forward, or can just bring just the lower parts forward. Okay, same applies to this. You can bring just the lower part forward, or we can bring the entire right hand forward. Okay, so we have our controls for the legs. Let's look at the controls for the leg. You can use this to rotate the legs, use this to raise or to lower the legs. Same goes for this. Okay, so those are the controls for the eyes. Let's look at the controls for the more controls for the eyes. So this, I use it to blink one of the eyes. Use this to blink the other eye. Use this to blink both eyes. Okay. We also have this to bulge the eye, to blink, bulge, blink, bulge, blink. Okay. All right, so for the hands, we can control the hands with this. All right, so we also have an option. We can use either our rigged hand, or we can use our switch layer hand, depending on the one you are used to. Okay, so let's come down here and let's get to the hands. All right, so this is our rigged hand. So you can use the rigged hand. Or if you don't want to use a rigged hand, you can use, we have another option here called the switch right hand. So we can use this, and we'll turn this off and turn this on. Oops, turn this on. So now we have our switch hand. So we have different hand switches so that you can use. We have a control for it right here, so we can, if we have this turned on, you can scroll this, turn this around to select. That's if you are okay with using switch hands. Okay, so we can use hands using switch layers. Okay, if you want to use bone rigged hand, the one that has bones, you turn this off and come back to this one that has bones, so we can use this. All right, the same goes for the right hand. So on the right hand, we have our rig, and then we also have our switch layers. So you can always come and choose any switch layer that you choose one, or you can use this control here to select which hand shape you are okay with. Okay, and they are all can control each of them using this bone. All right, so that's it. Then let's look at the control for the lips. All right, so we also have, just like with the hands, we also have rig and switch layer mouth shapes. Okay, so the first that we have here, let's look at the first one. So the first mouth shape that we have is the rigged mouth shape. So we can come here and use either of these to control the mouth. So we can use this to open the mouth, open the teeth. We can use this to squash, stretch, squash, stretch, squash, stretch. Can use this to make her happy, smile, make her sad, make her smile, make her sad. All right. And we also have some mouth shapes that have already been programmed into this board, so we can use either of these to move her around, so she can move her mouth shape. Okay, and all these are compatible with the 3D rotation, you can see. So she can move her head around with the particular mouth shape. And right here we have our lip sync. Peradventure you want to do a lip sync, you can use this. So when this bone moves up, you can see that she's talking. It's as easy as that. All right, remember we're using our rigged bone mouth so that we can be able to control using these bones. Okay, and the sweet thing is that while she's talking, you can decide to make her happy. She can talk while she's happy. She can talk while she's sad. All right, so that's the advantage of using switch layers. Okay, and we can come here and choose a particular mouth shape. With this mouth shape, she can still talk. With this mouth shape, you can choose a particular mouth shape and she can still talk using that mouth shape. All right, so that's the advantage of using switch rigged bone mouth shape. Okay, so let's come down and check another. We can use our switch mouth. If you're comfortable using switch layers, you can see right here we have mouth shapes that have already been designed that you can use if you're okay with using. So let's go ahead and import an audio file. So I'll go to File. Okay, so now I'm going to attempt lip sync. Okay, so there are two ways we can do lip sync. We can either use we can use our rigged mouth shape, or we can use our switch mouth shape. Any of them can work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to this bone, come to script, come to sound, and say bone audio wiggle. So I'm selecting this, and then I'll come down and select the audio that I just imported, which is this, and then leave it at that, and then I'll click OK. So what will happen is that it will insert keyframes for me with which I can do my lip sync. So when I press play now,
why spend time to
okay, oops, let's go back to our rigged mouth shape. So you see we're on our rigged mouth shape now because we're using the bone mouth shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and play. See,
Why spend time designing, rigging, and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project, saving you hours of creative time?
Okay, so you can see now we have our lips. The interesting thing about this is that I can decide to select make her happy while she's doing the same mouth shape.
Why spend time designing, rigging, and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project?
Same time, I can make her sad while she's doing the same lip sign.
Why spend time designing, rigging, and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project?
Okay, so we can also come back and let me reset this bone. We can also come back and pick any mouth shape that we choose here. We can pick one of these mouth shapes, and let's say she's crying. So let's just make it look as though she's crying while she's doing this mouth shape.
Why spend time designing, rigging, and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project?
Do the lip sign. Okay, next thing, we can also, what else can we do? There's a lot of things we can do. We can make her happy. We can make her happy while she's talking. So she's smiling. We just move our brows around and you can see.
Why spend time designing, rigging, and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project?
Okay, so what else can we do? We can, let's say while she's talking from here, we can see she can move her head around while she's talking. So we can come here and make her move her head.
Rigging and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24
so the whole thing is very dynamic. You can turn the head around and then say have her talk.
Animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project.
Okay, what else can we do? We can raise the head up and while she's talking.
Pick one of the 24 characters and use.
Okay, so I'm going to do a 360-degree head rotation while she's talking. So I'm going to turn this around. You might observe that the mouth seems to have left the body, but this is not an issue because of we have what we call double masking. So the mouth shape is masked inside of the head shape that is also masked. So, but when we render this out, I'm going to render this. When we render this out, you can see that there is nothing here. Okay, so we can only see this inside. So let's see. So you can see
one of the Pro 24
she can
characters
turn her head around while she's talking. Put the head the other side. And then
when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project.
You can see she's talking
pick one of the
while the head is also rotating. Okay.
Simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters.
Alright, so that's the exciting thing about using the rigged mouth shape. So I'm going to clear all the animation. Okay, so the next option we have is to use switch layers mouth shape. If you're okay with switch layers, all you have to do is come down here, come to switch layers, double click this, and then come to switch, select the audio we just imported, and then wait for it, and then
why spend time designing, rigging, and animating characters when you can simply pick one of the Pro 24 characters and use them in your project?
Okay, so the advantage of using the rigged mouth, the bone mouth shape is because we have more controls over the mouth. Now, if we want, let's say, somewhere we want her facial expression to change, we can't also. We don't have a lot of control over the mouth as compared to this. Okay, so that means we have to go down here and start designing new mouth shapes for the particular facial expression that she has. Okay, but however, with the rigged mouth shape, you can do a lot of. With the rigged mouth shape, you can do you have a lot of controls over the facial expression along with the mouth. Okay, same goes for the hands. For the hands, let's go to the hands. All right, so for this hand shape, you have a lot of controls over what you can do. This is more time consuming compared to using switch layers. This is more time consuming, but you have a lot of, you can create hundreds of hand shapes depending on what the animation need is using rig hand shapes. Okay, you can decide to move the thing around anyhow you want it and then create a particular hand shape to fit the animation need at that time. All right, but compared to rig switch layer hands, you're only limited to the switch hands that we already have inside here. Okay, so I'm going to play animation from the entire project. Then also, if you want to use specific mouth shapes, we have something we call the phenoms that you can use. Right, these are already designed mouth shape for specific vowels. So if I should come to my action window, you can get to your action window by clicking Windows Action. All right, so when you click your action window, usually you have your action window lying somewhere around here. If you want your action window to be looking like mine, you come down to docking and then dock your action window. So you can see right now it is docked. It is undocked. It is docked here, right? So I can come here and undock it so that I can have it floating around like this. All right. So same goes for the rest of my other windows here. So I can dock them so that they can be floating. I can easily move them around. Okay. All right. So let me come back to my timeline. Okay, so from my action window here, if I want to use specific mouth shapes, I'll just come and click the art. Okay, so with the art, you can see we have these are specific mouth shapes that you can use. All right, so maybe your lip sync is specific. Like say for example,
Why spend time?
So I could start here and start with nil, and then click insert. So now we have already started animation. So Y, we go to where we can find our W, and then we click it. All right, so we'll go back and select Y. So you can see we have our W. So we have next thing is Y. So we go to R. Then go ahead to I. Let's see if this works.
Why spend time?
So you can see
Why spend time?
Y. Then we'll go to S.
Why spend time?
Then we'll go to P.
Why spend time?
Go back to R. So if, of course, this is very time consuming, but if your lip sync, you want it to be specific to be able to mention the words particularly, so you can use this. Just come to click art, and then you have all these options, and then you can work with that. Else,
spend time design.
so you can go to
Why spend time design?
So you can see she's following the audio, just like they were mentioned. Of course, this is not necessary depending on how your animation needs are. Okay, so I'm going to clear all this. Okay, so moving forward, let's look at how we can change. The Pro 24 characters come with what we call wardrobe change. So this character, you can change her clothes. So right now we can change her clothes. So to do that, there are several ways to do that. You can come into the layer window, then come here. You can see we have some stuff here that you can use. You can use either of these for her hair. You can use glasses, can turn on the glasses, use any glass of your choice. Okay, you can change her dress. So let's come down to dress. You can come down to her dress and change the dress to anything you want. Okay, so you have to come to the torso, select the ones you want, turn them on. All right, just come down here and turn on the ones you want. Or there's another way for you to quickly change the clothes. Let me go back to the default one. So there are other ways for you to change the clothes. How do you do that? You could come to layer comp window, but if you're using Moho 13 and above, you can easily come to your windows and select layer comp. So from your layer comp, you could select each of these clothes. So these are the clothes that we have available. So this is the one. The next one, I can select the second one and come to expose visibility. So if I click expose visibility, you can see she has a new cloth. Here we have this turned off, so let's turn it back on. So just like I mentioned before, you can come down and turn them on by yourself, or you can use the layer comp to quickly jump in between the cloth. Then you can come to the third one and click this, so you can see she has new div cloth. Okay, and then when you go inside, there are still more clothes that are not included in this layer comp that you can turn on by yourself. So you can see we have this pink blouse that she can use. On the right here, you can see we have this combat trouser that she can use. We have sweater, we have jean, we have shorts, we have a lot more. On the foot, you can see foot, you can see we have some shoes that she can use. So it depends on what your need are. So these are pre-saved cloth dresses that you can use. So we have this. Let's return back to this. So from dress 1, we click this to return back to the default. Also, there are accessories that you can use. Accessories are some add-ons. I just show you some of them initially. So accessories are, we have so let's go to the accessories. On the head, we have the hat. All right, so we can use the glasses. I've shown you the glasses. And remember, all of this has 360 rotation. And you can see it also has 360 rotation. Here we have she has a backpack, so we can turn on the straps for the backpack and then turn on the backpack itself. All right, so the backpack also has 360 rotation, so we can turn her around. You can see she has a backpack, and we have more than one backpack. You can also use either of these. They all have 360 rotation. So I'm going to bring this hand forward. You can see we have 360 rotation. All right, so we can use this backpack or can use this. All right, so that's another accessory. We also have the wrist watches that you can use. So go to the right limb. Yeah, right here. We have the wrist watches that she can use. So we have, she can use this, she can use this, she can use this. All right, and like always, they all have 360 rotations. So those are for the accessories. Then let's talk about the custom animation that the character comes with. This character comes with about 59 pre-made animation that you can use. Okay, so to access the animation, simply come to your action window and type in the exclamation mark. I'm going to delete this just so I can show you guys how you can import your own custom made animation. So in order for us to import the animation, what we have to do is to come in and use the import. You can see the animation. These are the two folders that will come with your pack. This is for the team. So you can come here and say accessories, these are the animation for the accessories. So these are the accessories that can also that you have to put. They are like add-ons that you can add if you're interested. This is a bicycle and a skateboard. All right, so first of all, we'll go to the main, and you can see in here we have a lot of pre-made animation. You can see them. There are about 50 something of them. So let's take one of them and then let's look at what it looks like. So we're going to make her let's say we want her to make a presentation. Okay, so we want this presentation, so we'll say open. So you can see our presentation animation has already been added here. If you cannot find your animation after importing them, maybe imported them in the midst of all these control actions. So remember to type in your exclamation mark in the filters so that you can filter out only the animations that you have imported. All right, so the next thing we have to do is to take a look at it. So I'm going to double click. So once we double click, you can see that she will start presenting. Okay, so let me come down here and make sure I select the come to the mouth so that she can talk. Come to the mouth and select the rigged mouth shape. Okay, so we're using the bone mouth to control the animation. So you can see now she will start talking. Of course, we did not import the animation for the right and the left hand. So let's do that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete this, the one I just imported. I'm going to delete this, and then I'll start by importing the animation for both hands. So I'll come down here, select the right limb, then I'm working with the rigged hand shape, the rigged left hand. So I'll come here and import the animation for him. So I'll come down, you can see left hand, then I'll go down and select presentation. You can see the one for the left hand has been imported. Then I will locate the right hand as well, right hand, and import for the right hand. So I'm going to move out of here, come here, and then select the right hand presentation. You can see for the right hand has been presented and has been imported. So next I'll come and import for the main character. Main character, come down to presentation. So as you can see now, the animation for the both hands and the main character has been imported. So let me double click to take a look at it. All right, so you can see now the character is presenting. Okay, so I'm going to add this to my timeline. So I'll just double click to make back to my main line, come to the frame 1, select, and then click on the option that says insert a copy. You can see I have the animation on my timeline. Right, let's import another animation. All right, so we have our fight. For so when we open this up, you can see the character is already fighting. Okay, so that's it. We have our fights, and then you want to add this to your timeline, and just come back to the main line, then go to frame 1, select the one you want to import, click import, and then we have the fights in your timeline. So when I press this, you can see the character is already fighting. All right, so that's it. So once we come here, you can see we have a lot more animation that you can import. Wait for it to import. So we have walk to left, import inside. So we'll come to our frame 1, click import. So immediately the character starts walking. All right, and then of course you can always combine this animation. Let's say you want her to walk up to this place and start fighting. So I'll come here, select this, click fight, and immediately she walks up to this place and then she starts fighting. And then at the end of the fight, you want her to start presenting, add presentation. And once she gets here, she starts to present. So you can always combine this animation to make your own complete animation sequence.